night, get your butts back in your seats, or you know what, you may be outside enjoying the cool air and watching the stream off your phone. That sounds nice. I hope you're in an enjoyable climate that can accommodate that, if possible. We're big fans of touching grass out here. But once again, I'm Henry.
I'm Jakob.
And welcome back to TechnoPoverty. We've been playing MAXIMO, Ghost to Glory, while talking about various pieces of fantasy lit. Earlier, I was quoting some Yeats, and I noticed that I couldn't find the book at the time. It was buried under this copy of Doom by Jonathan Hickman. This is a giant-sized one-shot that came out last year. I had it on the table to remind myself to bring up Dr. Doom. But yeah, Yeats, right here, hidden behind the mask of Dr. Doom. I was quoting The Stolen Child earlier. Once again, come away, O human child, to the waters and the wild, with fairy hand in hand, for the world is more full of suffering than you may understand.
We love it.
You know what I don't understand? Where I put my controller. I think it's right over here. Interesting that the Yeats was obscured by the Doom, talking about Doom is the man who always has the mask on, and the Yeats poem dealing with children running from reality. Victor Von Doom, of course, being a character completely enamored with the mask. His image is Doom, his performance is ruler of Latveria.
What about The Man in the Iron Mask? That's a movie I haven't seen forever.
Oh yeah, Alexandre Dumas, good guy. Count of Monte Cristo, one of the greatest novels of all time. Very formative to my reading habits.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, just because I picked it up because it was old and it was thick, and I kind of knew it was about like jailbreak and revenge, but then I didn't realize it was like an old serial. So to me, it was like reading a giant comic omnibus. Like, yes, it's a 1,500-page book, but it's like, oh, this was like published in chapters, like over a long period of time. This is like reading Grant Morrison's entire Batman run. You know, that's kind of how I felt reading it in like middle school. Also, the Count of Monte Cristo is very Batman. He, gets riches and does righteousness using them.
Nice. We love that.
Fantasy of the liberal era. I very much mean that in French liberation, the individual as a new type of actor in society, that kind of a thing. Yes, MF Doom, all caps. Glad to see it.
Yeah, we wear a mask just to cover the raw flesh. MF Doom. Man, for real.
I don't like champagne.
I'm sure that's pretty good.
I get
like
a
a good
kick
champagne.
out of brew. All right, let's. The thing is, I believe each of these hub worlds has a secret, and I don't think I found the secret in the plants one.
That's right. Freeze these motherfuckers.
I also remember there at some point being a cool power-up where the slam you do, like, makes spikes pop out of the ground, and that's a very valuable power-up to have.
That seems super.
Dude, yes, I will pay 150 coins for a heart.
Give me
Just like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
just like it. I love
Indy!
Doom. People really don't like it. I think it's the best Indiana Jones.
It's very uneven, but I do like it after the first 40 minutes or so.
It's the only one that really feels like an episode of something. Like it feels like it's in the middle of his adventure.
You are right about that. It does require kind of like context in a way the others don't.
Yeah, and that's another thing too, because like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull has grown on me.
No, yeah,
I
remember we went through it all, and I agree. Like,
there's something about, and also just like accepting that the movies are not a trilogy or whatever. They're not sequential in the way that most movies are. In that way of like, oh, cool, the first one or the second one's going to reference these specific things.
The only real problem I have with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is the monkey swinging.
Agreed.
It's very just.
And the fridge a little bit.
I don't mind the fridge, but like I can see why people get mad at that.
Yeah. But you know, at the same time too, like we've killed Nazis with like ghosts and stuff like that. And we're like, well, I don't know if you could survive like a fridge or something. There's some crazy things in Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, I even didn't mind Dial of Destiny. I thought it was fun in a lot of ways that, especially for like how CG laden it was. I know people are like, oh, but like it all needs to be practical. I think Dial of Destiny, for like how much it did depend on digital cinematography and tricks, still managed to make like set pieces that used geography and such in ways that, like I remember the opening bombing with the carpet falling and kind of like the turret spinning on the train, and like there's still like some stuff, yeah. Which I honestly think it does maybe better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull in that respect. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull does have that cool car chase on the campus with the motorcycle and all that.
Oh yeah, Columbia, that was such a great time. Yeah, all the monkey swing. Yeah, there's just some cool stuff. Honestly, I did really like that they killed Indy's son in the fifth one.
Yeah,
and
that was very grim, but then they kind of embraced it in a way I didn't mind either.
100%. I felt for his character, and it made.
I kind of like thinking Indiana Jones is a failed dad. Like,
yeah, dude, he didn't know what his dad did. It's kind of like a perfect character piece as far as that goes for me. I really enjoyed how it played with his feelings on things and how he would deal with the loss of his only son.
There's a question to me too in like taking offense with Indiana Jones. It's like he was never like a real guy. Like he was never a real like modelable like guy.
He slept with a teenager. He said it in the first movie. Like, and George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, they have like their notes where he's like, no, we got to make sure everyone knows that she was 16 when they did this.
Oh, that's the great, Temple of Doom. Like, hey, can you guys tell I hate my wife?
And I honestly think that's why that's my favorite movie ever. Like,
you think
Spielberg,
the Spielberg
his girlfriend broke up with him.
Adds like some black magic to the mix.
Absolutely. I mean, literally, man had his heart torn out. There's like, it's so funny because there's like Short Round, a child kid, you know, the kid running around with Indiana Jones, which I wish they would have done more with him later on. But like,
it is interesting too that like he would go on to make Hook.
Yes, exactly. This like.
No.
It's an apology, like, I'm really sorry, that got really dark. Because it is Steven Spielberg at his darkest, which is really funny considering it's like, well, you know, it's kind of
he has more serious movies later, but
sure,
it's the darkest Indiana Jones for sure.
Yeah, darkest movie he made in the 80s.
It's the most unintentional, like, of it, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, I think of it, and I think of the Fablemans, which I think is very interesting in how vulnerable he's willing to be and being like, I don't know, maybe I'm just a weirdo with what the Fablemans is entertaining.
Yeah, which I love.
I grew up with this particular family dynamic, and I have a weird, detached, kind of voyeuristic perspective on life. I don't even know why, but I'm going to keep doing it. And
yeah. Like it's
also, just David Lynch's John Ford, wonderful touch.
The best. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come on up. This little dog is barking at me. There you go. Get cozy in the blankets, dog. Yes. You know,
right. Don't slam those guys.
Yeah, don't slam those guys. We don't want that.
No, their swords are upwards.
Indiana Jones movies. Temple of Doom forever will sing its praise. Great times. The movie I haven't seen in a while.
Is that a Bigfoot?
Oh, is that the guy that was walking around?
So last episode we asked, do you believe in ghosts? And we explored that a little. Do you believe in Bigfoot though?
Ooh, I do. Really? There was one time my grandfather on my mom's side. He was a very quiet man, didn't really talk to me about a lot of stuff. I remember one time asking him if he believed in Bigfoot, and he said no, but ask me if I believe in aliens.
And did you?
I absolutely. I was like, well, you do? He's like, absolutely, I do. Apparently, firemen have, starting like the 50s, because he was a volunteer firefighter in town, you have to, there was like, in case any space debris comes down, there was like certain protocols you had to follow. And allegedly, we have some cousins on that side of the family who had a flying saucer land on their front yard. and there's a giant patch of grass that in a circle that does not grow from where it landed, allegedly. Like, I haven't talked to the lady. My grandmother said I should have a discussion with her. I'm sure they'd talk about it, but it's
Whoa.
yeah.
I was saying whoa at this pirate ship,
I mean, also
but also
that too.
whoa to your story, yes.
Woe to both. And also, I want a Bigfoot. I think I believe in a Bigfoot. There's enough woods. We haven't been in the woods enough. You could hide. And I don't know if like Bigfoot is like interdimensional and all those crazy ideas that they have about it, but I definitely think there could be a big monkey, man.
It's just a dude who doesn't shave.
I mean, truly.
Just living his best life.
Just monkeying around.
Bigfoot in it. Bigfoot around town. Okay.
I love that webcomic would just be like, okay, small dick. It's like, oh, what do you call him Bigfoot? Why you gotta focus on this part of me? Oh god.
Yeah, where do I ride this whirlwind? Is that where I came from? I'm scared.
I'm worried.
Playing ship's mast, which, do you ever do that in real life? I had a friend who we did that in real life. I will say no more. Ship's mast.
I'm not even familiar with this.
Like riding on the hood of your car while you drive it. Death Proof, they do it.
Oh, yeah. Man, what a great movie. No, never did that. Did some other
I've only
crazy
seen Death
movies.
Proof once. That one and Hateful Eight.
Nice. I never saw Hateful Eight. Did see Death Proof in theaters, though. That was a great Grindhouse experience. That was a great time.
Grindhouse is one. Do kids even know? No, yeah. Wow.
Do kids even
I
know?
was throwing my shield for a while about that Yeti, but one sword slash did him in.
I was like, all right. It was the fire.
Oh, I need the key. I'm going to freeze without the key. I mean, I have a key, but I guess I need a gold key, like I was paranoid of earlier.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
Ooh.
Can you make it nice?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. God,
That's the glory part of Ghost to Glory.
It's the glory part of the glory hole.
I ran out of fire magic, but I got snow magic.
Woohoo! Like every other thing in the snow world. It's like with the warm, that was keeping me warm.
Okay, luckily you can kind of just like jump all the way back to the broad part. Okay, so those skeletons, I definitely need to slay. That keyhole looks useful.
Gosh.
Ship's
Man,
mast,
ever
ship's
since
mast.
Jason said that those were strawberries, now I can't unsee strawberries. I'm like, of course it's strawberries.
So that's where I came from. Yeah, there's a little checkpoint down there.
Yep.
Don't need to go there. This looks optional, but I'm curious because we like to lick corners here, no matter what diseases it may give us. Sometimes it gives you cool tokens that get you further in the game.
Cool, fun diseases.
Just more snow power.
Nice. Excellent, excellent.
I don't think like Lovecraft should, well, because I'm thinking about Lovecraft, and I'm thinking about In the Mountains of Madness. And to its credit, I do think In the Mountains of Madness is his best story. And I think part of the reason it is because a lot of the times Lovecraft is only alluding to horror, or as soon as the horror becomes indescribable, the story just ends, the protagonist just goes mad. And The Mountains of Madness is one of those rare times where once he takes a look at the horror, he keeps looking at it, and the character of the plot has to actually like escape the situation. It's one of the few times I feel H.P. Lovecraft is being extremely earnest. Like he lays out like his mythology, the most cogent of all his short stories in there. As far as like, okay, there are these aliens, and then they built the Shoggoths, and then they built the humans, and man's a mistake, yada yada yada.
Yeah, it is.
You know, you only really get glimpses and pieces of his lore most of the time. At the Mountains of Madness is him like actually like kind of making a statement for once, and it's I mean, it's his least racist. It is.
We applaud him for that.
Yeah, it is very interesting too, because like in his grand mythology, if like humans aren't the true like inheritors of the earth and we're just like some bastard like mongrel creation of like an alien intelligence, why does any of the race shit matter at all? Like, if none of us can like lay a true claim to like owning any of this, why do we even care what colors of people own what things in the world? You know?
Damn, it was pretty woke of him.
Right, and this is the same, like, well, like, that's my question I have towards Howard. I'm like, Mr. Lovecraft, do you realize, like, the implications of what you're saying here are dissonant with what you're saying elsewhere?
Yeah. You're almost getting the point. You almost got it, boy.
But he has passed. We cannot bring him back. I do not believe we should like make an AI to approximate what he would say. That's completely useless. Remember when dudes were posting videos of like Socrates talking to Bill Gates? What was up with that?
Remember, like...
But yeah, I think it's still a question less for Howard, but one to just consider in his work and history and greater continuity of weird fiction.
More hologram Tupac. That's what we need more of.
Like, not AI Tupac, hologram Tupac? Like,
Yeah, hologram Tupac. Not AI Tupac. I don't like... Hologram Tupac.
do you see it as sort of like one's kind of like just a send-off, like a really nice kind of statue almost, whereas the other's like a zombie?
It's, yeah, because I mean, like, you can, like,
one's made like in caricature, one's trying to be made in substitute.
Like AI trying to be like, let's make a new Queen album with like what with the AI Freddie Mercury do. Like, no. However, seeing a hologram of Freddie Mercury singing songs Freddie Mercury played,
like a recorded concert.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Like, it's that kind of like recording versus like, oh, this is what it would do. It's like, no, that's what that robot calculated to.
Yeah.
Like, again, I would be down to see holograms of other artists. That's something I'm much more intrigued by than I am with an AI of anything.
Yeah, it's like getting a grasp of the dimensionality is cool. I like seeing like what the height of celebrities I like are.
Yeah, man. Or like, you know, a hologram to see the Gorillaz live as the Gorillaz.
Hatsune Miku.
Hatsune Miku. Dude, yes.
Oh, did I stumble my way into like big trouble?
Man.
No, I found a key.
Now I'm trying to think, because I saw Death Clock in concert. That would also be like a great thing to see holograms of. But also they were a great show.
Oh yeah, that was a great show. They were like all animated up on screen and Brendan was doing the voices.
Yeah, just like the whole band in front of them, kind of in darkness, but you can see them.
And stuff, and it was effective.
Yeah, it was incredible. Great show also, you know, killer. Didn't they just recently come out with a movie or something? I feel like Metalocalypse did something more recently.
Oh yeah, I feel there was some sort of Death Clock Legacy sequel release.
There's an album, that I know
thing.
for sure. Which I would go see them live again. They were a really fun show.
Do I go this way? Which one of these exits do I need to go through? No. I have the proper key, I just don't remember the proper exit.
How the fuck did this boat get here?
You know, back in the day of snow and back in the days of high adventure, like dudes with monocles and mustaches and lots of money. They're like maybe the third or fourth son of a baron. Like they weren't gonna inherit daddy's gold, and like the family's managements besides daddy's gold were already in their second brother's hands. So the third and fourth brother are just like, well, I'm going to join the Super Adventurers Club, and yeah. Oh yeah, I think it's sort of
same way they get in the bottle. Absolutely true.
So yeah, you just have all these dandy dudes going on like trips to the Arctic and just looking for exploration in the Victorian era.
Papa, I want to see the Arctic Circle.
They're all on a race.
But Papa, I want to lay
science.
claim to the Arctic Circle.
I think it's where that sales kiosk is. I think it's where that gentleman at the mall sales kiosk is. No, it's the next one, I want to say.
I think it is the next one. Certainly wasn't that one.
This shanty music, yeah.
Dun dun dun. There
Yeah,
we
because
go.
there's a Yeti over here. Puzzle solving 101.
I told that Yeti to go fuck himself. Oh, and there's Tally. Sweet little dog. Oh, you hear your name?
Chat, trust us, there's a dog right off to the side.
Right off here. Papa, build me a boat in the Arctic Ocean so I can enslave all the Yetis.
Yeah, dude. So, like, Elon Musk got his ass kicked real hard as a kid in school, from what I understand, and his dad's like, "You deserve it, nerd." Like, he would have died in the 1800s.
But Daddy...
But Papa, they were mean to me.
You deserved it, Elon.
Darwin says you're the 5th kid, so I shouldn't really worry.
But Papa, it's not what I want, Papa.
I mean, some of those Nepo babies had talent, ended up doing some cool things.
I'm sure some of them learned stuff. which is
Sure.
great.
Like, I'm sure some, like, did some contributions to science or literature. Lord Dunsany, I believe, was such a case.
My dad taught me how to work on cars. You can learn shit from your parents doing shit.
So Lord Dunsany is a cool case of that, where he, you know, wasn't a lord, but kind of like at the end of the whole feudalism thing, and he just,
Perfect time for it.
he was like, I'm just gonna write some cool poems and some short stories, and some dramas and high fantasies, and it's like, well, thank you, Mr. Dunsany.
What a great life to live.
I forget the exact name of the dude, but there's a book. It is a nonfiction book called The Bloody White Baron. It is about one of the last, like, Russian nobles who was just living off in the far, like, north, kind of, like, distant region of the country. And for those of you who've read A Song of Ice and Fire or familiar with Game of Thrones, this guy is, like, basically a real-life Roose Bolton. Just a weird, depraved dude, just doing human experiments and flaying people, and
Love people like that.
you love people like that?
Weirdos.
Whoa.
Listen, man, there's only one way to experiment on humans and find out that this. How do you think we learned how vitamins work? We had to starve children.
Chat, who am I sitting with?
It's the only way. Oh man, don't tell me the Roose is loose. The Roose?
Roose Bolton, yeah. But yeah, look up The Bloody White Baron. Total opposite of the case of, like, the Lord Dunsany I'm talking about, where last kid of royalty, instead of being a dandy boy, he's just a sociopath. just a
I'm
psychopath.
a monster,
you know?
Papa.
Gotta bathe in that blood.
Next time, rice and pieces.
The kind of character that inspired Dracula, for instance.
Ooh.
You know? The old country, vampires.